Oh, live. Duh. How's it going, everyone? If you're there and you see this, write into the chat so I know you're there. What's up, Natalie on Periscope? I don't really have any topics of conversations set up. What's up, Michelle? Hey, what's going on, guys? Misty? We got Bearfort Paranormal in the house. What's up, Nancy? How's everybody doing? I had a little bit extra time, and I thought to myself, should I make little vials for everybody, or should I go on and chat for a little while? And I thought, well, I'd like to go on and chat. It's been a long day. See how everybody's doing. Where are you guys all at in this world? What part of the country? Are you in the United States? Are you outside of the United States? What state are you in? I hope everybody's having an awesome day. My God, I feel like I am busier. God's honest truth, I feel like I'm busier than I was before this pandemic started. New York, around the block. Yeah, I know where you are. Perrysburg, New York, Connecticut, Buffalo, Louisiana. Yes, Louisiana. Leah, I'm so glad that you guys had a good night. It looked awesome. Glad that you guys were able to go to the house and use it. What's up, Will? What's up, Matt? What's up, everybody in the chat? Definitely got folks watching on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope, which is awesome. I love that I can combine everything now and actually see the notes from all of the social media on one. It's pretty cool. Look at your message. Okay, JP. So today, I posted some pictures on my Facebook page. We actually, in the past 3 days, we've been scraping down the house and repainted the whole house. It's going to have to be done every few years because the wood is so old on that house. Most of it, a lot of it was replaced, but I had some local kids down there helping out and got the whole house repainted, and it looks amazing. And we also had a water spigot installed. It's never had a water spigot on the outside of the house, and for pit fires and things like that, when we have folks staying there in the back, I just thought it was pretty essential to have a way to put a fire out or something just in case of an emergency. And now that we have a garden, be able to water the garden when we go down there. Oh, you saw me on My Paranormal Nightmare. Cool. Yeah, it was cool to be able to actually tell my story, my personal story, like what got me into the paranormal. And that's the first story of my life, living that. They call it My Paranormal Nightmare, but it was scary, being a kid and having to deal with that growing up. Oh, Brenda, yeah, last May, first overnight in Hinsdale. Are you going to come back? Did you like it? Did anybody else see My Paranormal Nightmare last week on Saturday on Travel Channel? It was basically me and my sister, and we were able to tell the story of what we dealt with growing up and the spirits that were in our house. My other sister had stories too, and so does my mother now. That she's actually come out and said that she's had experiences with the shadow man in our old basement. Oh, hey, what's up, Urban Ghost Hunters? What's your name? Oh, you're from West Tennessee. Cool. I don't live in that house in North Tonawanda anymore. I actually bought the house across the street from that house. I definitely needed to expand. My family was getting bigger, and my neighbor, who had it's a 2,300 square foot house in a double lot, came and knocked on my door, because we always joke with him, like, when you're ready to sell, let us know. And he actually came to our house one day and said, we're ready to sell, and we'd like you to have the house. So I got it for a really good deal. I've been fixing it up. And now it's weird to look across the street and see the house that I grew up in. But it was the easiest move ever. Seriously, we didn't have to get a moving truck. We're just like pushing stuff across the street into the new house. It's pretty funny. So what are you guys all doing? What are you guys all doing to pass the time? Anybody still working? Actually still working? Like their regular job? If you're not working, what are you doing to pass the time? I mean, I'm up to here with bike rides and walks. Is there anything else that you guys are doing that is quarantine safe to pass the time? I mean, I've actually even had a couple of pit fires in the back as well. Made some s'mores with the kids. That's fun. You get smoky eyes, fall asleep. Hey, what's up, Kat? What's up, Tommy? You work every day? God bless you. Yeah, we've been doing that too. We catching up on home projects. Well, my wife, she's actually painted the back hall, and it looks really good. Because this was like a 1970s shag house when we got it, so we've had to rip all that out, and it's all hardwood floors and everything. We're having our kitchen redone, but because the COVID thing hit, our kitchen has been in shambles for 2 months, and luckily we had the stove installed and we have hot water. But other than that, we haven't been able to really utilize our kitchen. They just started working on it again this week, which is awesome. He had the new microwave in, the new dishwasher, the new refrigerator, and we have to get the tile measured for the counters. But it's coming along. Glad that finally getting to be able to work on that again. Still working, but on short hours. I've been passing the time with working on building a new ITC device and spring projects on the house. Cool, urban ghost hunters. Planting, mowing, and taking care of the donkeys and chickens. Tammy, that's funny. Donkeys and chickens, huh? I'd like to get. I was at the store and I saw that they had ducks and chickens and different types of birds there to raise. I think that would be cool to try. Although I have enough time now, but then when it starts getting busy again, I probably wouldn't have enough time to do that. So I'm good with the 2 dogs and the rabbit. Now we have a rabbit. He's a cutie though. He likes to snuggle. I do need a haircut. Everybody's saying I got like a Justin Bieber thing going on now, but I'm not getting it cut until the barbershops open up. I refuse. So if I have a hippie down to my ankles hair, by the time that opens up, I'm going to go with it, and I'll take lots of pictures. Oh, we've been doing some art too. Like, with my daughter, we've been doing some artsy stuff. My wife was drawing with chalk out on the driveway, and little arts and crafts things. It's been cool. I've only been out 4 times during this mess, Sherry, Alabama gal, and they're opening stuff back up in Alabama, but I either think it's too soon. Yeah, I think I don't know whether it's too soon or too early or what, but I think we all just need to use our heads. Whether it's open or it's closed, we have the power to control ourselves and what we do, and we just have to be smart for ourselves. If we go out and you don't feel comfortable, wear a mask. You can't get sick inside your house. So hopefully we'll all be doing what we need to do to protect ourselves. And that's really what it comes down to. Some people are going to do what they want to do, and there's nothing we can do to stop that. So all we can do is watch out for ourselves. I want to know about that ITC device. What are you trying to stir up? What are you trying to make? Glenn Morgan will do ghost hunting at Point Lookout, Scotland, Maryland. It was a Civil War prison camp. Over 4,000 died there. Wow, that would be cool to go into. I would love to go into that. My husband is a 911 dispatcher, so he's working normal. I'm disabled, but I'm going to the usual cleaning disinfecting, and teaching. Also teaching, yeah, Katie. Yeah, I mean, that's huge. Like, all of us have been doing that, you know? All of us have been teachers. We all deserve teachers' pay, don't you think? We need to teach our kids. I feel blessed. Shaylee's teacher has been phenomenal since the start, doing Zooms, getting the class together, the way that she's dispersed the work, and then follow up and checking up, and she's been great. As far as that goes. Sherry, you're wearing a mask, gloves, and sanitized like crazy. You guys want to know a funny story? So, I was on a cruise. I was on the last cruise out of Port Orlando, the Twisted Paranormal cruise that left the country. We got back right before St. Patrick's Day, and I was thinking, I thought it was bad when, maybe it was going to get canceled, that we weren't sure. But, I wanted to commit to going because we had already committed to going, and went on the cruise. The boat was probably like 35-40% full. We got back, it was like night and day, with everything getting shut down. I didn't know if our flight was going to get to Buffalo, if I was going to have to rent a car. And by the time we got home, my God, everybody ransacked everything at the stores. So we had a little bit of toilet paper left. We had, sanitizer. My wife always bought a lot of sanitizer, so we were good with that. Even stuff that she bought, like, we have like a stash of it. So we had a lot of sanitizer. But the wipes, the Lysol wipes and the disinfectant spray and stuff like that, I guess it's not needed if you're being careful and you're actually cleaning and doing things the right way. But I guess it's just that, like, it's like when somebody says you have lice, you get that, like, feeling in your hair, like, and you just want to have some wipes just to have them. It, like, gives you, like, a comfort feeling to know that you have a little stash of Lysol wipes underneath the sink or something. And I couldn't obviously find it. Those were gone and bought out and hard to find. And it had probably been like 3 or 4 weeks that we were quarantined, and all the bookings had canceled at the house, obviously. So I had gone down to the house, and I was just going to clean up and wipe everything down and clean the house up, and start doing some little projects down there too, because I was just feeling crazy being locked up. So I go down in the closet of the Hinsdale house, and I open it up, and I open the door, and I'm like, oh my God, five bottles of Lysol wipes, brand new in the package. Like I remember buying them at Walmart a few months before that, and I had 2 left, and I bought another 3-pack just to have, because you're in between guests, you're wiping things down and all the time at the house. And I was like, damn, I could have just gone shopping at the Hinsdale house. Not to mention we had 2 bins of toilet paper. It was Scott's, but that's what we use because we have a septic system. You want to use the 1-ply toilet paper, and like another bin of paper towels. I was like, damn, I could have just like come down here earlier and gone shopping at the Hinsdale house for some stuff for my home. Jeez. It was funny, and I remember taking pictures of it and sending it to my wife and being like, look at this. It was pretty funny. I have fallen in love with this drink. Not this peach one, but this brand. That only 10 calories per drink. You'd think that they'd be paying me to do this, but the coconut lime one, oh my God, it's so good. The peach one, the iced teas that they have, they're all like 10 calories or less, and they're so good. They're tasty. It doesn't taste like there's tons of sugar in it, but there's not. It's going to be something similar to a Banshee box, running in real time with an SB7 or 11. There is 90% of the white noise and caps. 1920 stories model tabletop radios. Ooh, that sounds so cool. Dude, when you get done with that, like, I am a freak about new ITC devices and testing them out and using them. And we're going to be doing a lot of filming coming up. So if you want me to use that, get one of them. I'll get one from you. And I'd love to test it out on the show, or doing a live at the Hinsdale house or something like that. It'd be cool. What else you guys saying in there? You make your own hand sanitizer with aloe vera gel and 91% alcohol. Keep the Clorox and Clorox wipes. Oh yeah, I mean, it's easy to do if you can find the stuff to do it. Hope everybody's go and say, what's your scariest experience at the Hinsdale house? June, I'm not gonna say your last name. Is it Himerson? I hope so. June, my scariest experience at the Hinsdale house. Hmm. You know, I don't know that I've had probably at the inside the forest. Um, I was up in the forest. Well, you're saying inside the Hinsdale house. If it's at the Hinsdale house and the property, I'll say it happened in the forest, and we were up there, and we're kind of doing like this meditation type of thing. But you always feel like you're surrounded, and you can hear footsteps coming. And there was this big giant thump. It sounded like, oh my God. It sounded like, I don't even know how to explain the thumping noise. But it wasn't like a tree falling over. It wasn't, it sounded like maybe an elephant had plopped down from the sky and landed on the floor. Like a boom. It was like a big thump. And it scared the crap out of me. And I went running down that hill. And when we were there in the morning and went to go check and see maybe if it was I don't know, a rock or what could have possibly made that noise or any indentations in the ground. But there was nothing, like something maybe jumped out of a tree or a big animal of some kind. I don't know, but it freaked the crap out of me. But we couldn't explain it. We couldn't figure out what it was. We have caught unexplainable pictures up in the forest behind the house. So who knows? If you're talking about in the house, I would say that it has to do with before I even owned it. The experience that I had when I was trying to connect with Flo Misnick. All I had known is the exorcism story of the house, and then we started doing research on new families that lived there and their experiences and how long they lived there for and what had happened to them. And it was cool today. I was down there at the house, and this car pulled up, and I waved to them and started talking to them, and they were my neighbors from down the road, and their family, actually, their grandfather lived in that house, and their granddaughter is sitting there telling me cool stories that her grandfather told her about living in the house, about doors flying open and things peeking through the window that he couldn't explain. And we exchanged information because I've never got to interview anybody from that family that lived in the house. And she's 16. I'd love to be able to just get her on tape and jot down all the things that her grandfather was saying happened. Oh, back to my story. Anyways, I'm sorry, I go on tangents. So before I owned the house, and all I knew was the exorcism, started researching it, and it's actually on my YouTube station. If you go to Daniel Klaes on YouTube, there's a Behind the Shadows Hinsdale house episode. And this is before I owned the house. This was basically us saying goodbye to the house because all the electricity was shut down. It was in shambles, and the doors are always left open, and they were tearing the ductwork out and getting ready to just get rid of it. And we were in the kitchen, and I had a K2 meter in my hand. You guys all know what a K2 meter is. And I started talking to Flo. I said, Flo, are you here? And I got this jolting sensation on my arm, goosebumps, and just chill. And the K2 meter started lighting up, and I started having a conversation with Flo. I asked her to hold my hand going up the stairs, and the K2 meter stayed lit in my hand all the way up the stairs into the main bedroom. And then as I crossed over into Mary's room, the room that has all the flies and bugs in it and whatnot, that I lost it. I lost her. But I do feel like she's there. And the next day I actually connected with her granddaughter out of the blue, Jackie, and she actually just called me today too. She's going to meet up with me this weekend down at the house and just check it out and see some of the improvements that we've made and say hello, which is kind of cool. Saw less footage of a spirit in the basement. Oh, you did? I saw less footage in the basement. Wow. Sherry, I haven't been there, but on a group's live feed about 2 years ago, I spotted the one you don't like to call by name. Oh, yeah. He's definitely there. Thanks, Glenn. I didn't even know. I was like, I'm just going to go live and talk to people for a little while. What the hell? It's either that or do more work, right? And this is fun. How can I book a stay for 4 people for a weekend? Well, you basically just got to send me a message and we can go over what's open. A lot of the things that have gotten canceled, people have rebooked, so there's not many weekend days open. We do have a few Saturdays that just opened up in June and one in August, like 2, I think. Then that's through November. And then people are actually starting to book 2021. A lot of the Canadian bookings that I had were very unsure when they're going to be able to come over the border, so we just bumped their bookings to a year from now. And that's actually what a lot of concerts are doing too. Well, Brenda, there's like a darker entity at the house, and he goes by a couple different names. We don't really want to give him the light of day. When he starts to come out and starts to screw with people, I always tell them to stop what they're doing and leave the whole scenario and just don't pay attention to him. He's screwed with a lot of people there. He's not there all the time, but you have to be mentally prepared to deal with something like that when you come to the house, because you're going to get a lot of communication, a lot of manipulation of your equipment, and sometimes that darker entity does come out. So I don't know who or what he is, but for sure we don't know. But he's been named by a couple different people. Yeah, if you want to try to get a hold of me, my name, DanielKlaes.com. Thanks, Michelle. DanielKlaes.com. DanielKlaes.com. And then all my social media links will be on there. And you can send me a message, and we can get you booked. That's so cool. So an SLS message, or an SLS camera in the basement. That is so neat. My son keeps blowing me up here. I can't wait to see that. Did you put that up on Facebook or anything yet, or did you, I haven't been able to look at a lot of the feeds from last night. He chased the other spirits in the house. So he does. So when this darker energy comes, you can feel it just feels heavier in the house, and anything that was or is trying to communicate from you, it just like ceases, it stops, and then you start getting like sworn at, and you can just feel it, and I walk away. It hasn't happened to me in a long time, but it definitely happens to teams when they're there. Personally, I've never been scratched in the house. I have been scratched by a twig or something, like doing some hiking on the property, but I've never actually physically been assaulted at the house. The craziest thing that's ever happened in the house, Tammy? I mean, I can tell you, okay, so my goal was, when I got this at some point, is to be able to bring the house to everybody, live stream. I need to figure out how and what is the best way to live stream from a house that's in the middle of a hill, that doesn't have good cell reception, that doesn't have a way to get any internet service provided, but a way to get that out there. And I ended up having to get HughesNet, which is a satellite internet provider, which is super expensive, to get enough bandwidth to actually do the live streams. And we could only use one camera, because if you use more than one camera, it would screw the bandwidth up, and then it would be even more lagging. And we did it at night, so we didn't waste all of our, high-powered internet service. But the first night that we finally got that camera hooked up, and we set it up in the living room, and we were experimenting with doing live streams on Paranormal Warehouse. And that first night, I remember having that live stream going, and there was probably about 1,000 people watching the live stream, and I love it. That's exactly what I wanted, and I love the fact that we can have people documenting and watching live as it's happening. As a paranormal team, you think about it. Say you have 4 cameras or 8 static cameras, and you go put them up in the house, and then you get done, and you have 4 or 40 or 80 hours worth of video footage to look through. Your team, only you. So having fresh eyes on it, and being able to have that many people watching it is a huge benefit. So if you go through and look at the notes on my YouTube station, and you look at the live streams that we have going on, people are actually documenting the times. Orb flew through, a light coming through in the kitchen, or something, this happened here, or shadow person here. But the first time that we ever had that camera running, I was in the chat. It was awesome. We were talking to everybody, talking about the history. We're promoting the house. It's great. And I fall asleep on the couch in the middle of doing all that. I just passed out. I was so tired. And I all of a sudden get woken up because my phone starts blowing up. And I go look at my phone, and I'm half asleep, and I'm getting all these text messages and all these messages from people that are watching the live stream, and they're taking snapshots and pictures of this shadow figure actually walking in the kitchen. And it's just so amazing. You can see the head and the torso of the shadow person in the kitchen. It's like, holy cow, we got the Holy Grail on the first night. Boom! Shadow man in the kitchen. What's up, Lupita? Good to see you. Glenn, it's been several months ago and you had 3 marks on your arm. They did go away. Huh. A lot of times I feel like, when people get scratched, they think it's bad. And I don't know how you feel about it, Glenn. When you're dealing with energy, I just don't know, like, maybe the energy that's trying to communicate with us doesn't know how to harness its energy, and making that mark isn't on purpose. Maybe it's just a scenario where it's an accident, we don't know. We don't know for sure. We don't know if that's a sign of bad things to come or whatnot, but I do know that we're dealing with different energy sources, and who knows, when people get marked, maybe you're more susceptible to being touched. Maybe they feel more comfortable trying to speak with you or try to communicate with you. Maybe they're drawn to you. Who knows? But I live in an apartment connected to an old store building up in 1886. Probably lots of spirits. Yeah, I would think there's probably some energies left in that location for sure. For sure. Tammy, you're planning on coming to the house next year for your birthday. Awesome. Well, you just got to remind me, because when I found out that it's people's birthdays when they're coming to the house, sometimes I leave like little balloons or little presents in the house to help you celebrate. We actually have had a honeymoon at the house before too. Paranormal investigators wanted to have their honeymoon there. And it's funny, the first thing I see them do is when they walk in the house is take towels and put them right over the camera. Whoosh, goodbye. No cameras. Sorry, I didn't want to watch that anyway. No peeping Tom crap, I actually disabled the cameras for their honeymoon. But it was just funny that they did that. You'll be 55. So Tammy, how about we do this? You sleep at the Hinsdale house, and in the afternoon we'll go skydiving for your 55th birthday. We could go to Frontier skydiving, and it's a fun time. We can go tandem skydiving. Fox City's paranormal team, shout out. What's going on? No problem, Glenn. Glad that you're doing well. Awesome. Yeah, I mean, the cool thing is that once we run a live stream, Agnes and Dora by Rachel, but every time that we do a live stream, those are archived, so people can go back. So I'm having people rewatch live streams from last year and finding new stuff on them and typing it in and letting me know what's going on, in the house. So it's really cool to actually be able to go back and see that. What's up, Chris? What's up, buddy? Tammy, I hate planes. All right, well, staying in the house then. I guess that's a good enough birthday present. We could do a bonfire in the back. Maybe do some meditation or do something cool. It'll be fun. I was just throwing that out there just in case you wanted to go skydiving. I heard that 2 a.m. to 3 a.m. is like the witching hour, or most activity happens. Any truth to that? Well, I can say that at the Hinsdale house, it's not true. I mean, we were there this afternoon. I was filming with Stephanie Harlow. She's a YouTuber, and I don't want to give what happened while we were there filming during the day, but we definitely had some pretty amazing activity. I think that you can collect activity at any time throughout the day. I think that doing it at nights makes it easier because you're taking away one of your senses, and it's just, when you do it at night, it's a little bit easier to see light anomalies and things like that. You don't have to investigate at night. It doesn't have to be 2 or 3 in the morning, but that's taboo. Maybe that's true at some locations, but the Hinsdale house, things happen all the time. And I've been at houses during the day. I've been at other locations. I had stuff happen to me. I had K2 meters going off when I was at Willow's Weep, when I was doing a walkthrough in the middle of the day. All right, Lee, I'll check my phone when I get done with this. I always thought about something. Katie Finch. I've always thought something was going on in your house. Nothing serious, voices, noises, knocks, stuff like that. But I haven't heard anything in months. But I haven't been alone to hear it either. Well, there you go. Since this all started, it's been a little bit more active. Everybody's lives have been a little bit more crazy. Everybody's on high alert, and feeling the pressure. So maybe the spirits can feel that. Or maybe they're doing it and you just don't hear it. Who knows? But it's, if you got more going on at the house, you're less prone to do it. If you're focusing on it, and you're focusing on those noises and the voices and stuff, maybe you're more prone to hear it too. So you might want to read it out loud on there. So you're telling me to get my phone right now? Let's see. Okay. All right, Lee, I'm pulling up your message. When we came up from the basement and bolted the door, Brenda had to utilize the bathroom. Rick and I were in the kitchen packing up. She came running out and stated that there were 3 knocks on the basement door. Scared the shit out of her. Oh my God, that's funny. Well, hey, that's that's funny. The bathroom is a nice look, probably the nicest looking room in the house now, but it's also the freakiest because the toilet actually used to be right next to the door that leads to the basement. We kind of moved it now, so it's facing this way, and you actually stare at the old door. We've actually seen it move. Hey, what's up, Carol Ruth? We got to get together soon. Just been so busy. Next week I could probably get together with you, and maybe we can do a live with you too. Brenda Johnson. When you were there, you took 2 pictures in the closet upstairs that has the mirror in it, and I got a white mist on both of them. Is that common? Activity in the closet is common, obviously, because there's people that scry in there, and there's people that, for some reason, feel like there's a lot of energy in the closet. That's part of the investigation. Now, people have caught white mist on the property, in the closet, downstairs. It's not a common thing to catch it. I'd say if you were outside, there's other ways to debunk a white mist, but what kind of camera were you using? And you sure it wasn't a reflection off the mirror? I guess you just want to look at everything and try to look and see all the different things that could potentially make a hazy white mist on a camera. But Hunted by Haunted. Crystal Thomas, hey, what's going on? Marilyn, hey, what's going on? Damiana, hey, what's going on? Good to see you guys. Oh, geez, Timothy Morse, booga, booga, booga. I had something similar happen when I was doing my business, LOL. The door was jiggling, and everybody on my team experiences the same thing. Yeah, I mean, that basement definitely has a creep factor to it, I mean, it's an old sandstone basement, stacked stones, and, there's a lot of folklore associated with that basement. That's where they supposedly kept all the bodies. and we've caught tons of EVPs down there. Obviously, Lee got, a figure, an apparition on it last night. He was there. Do I take children there, and how do they handle things? Now, I don't personally take children to the house. I've allowed teenagers to come that have been versed in paranormal investigating, that take it seriously. Um, when parents ask me that, I always say it's up to you. You're the kid's protector. If you feel like the child's ready to experience a paranormal investigation and will take it seriously and not joke around, then bring them. Bring them. Let's see how it goes. You can always get in the car and drive off. But I'm not one to try to stop somebody from wanting to do what they want to do, especially if they're taking it seriously and they're learning techniques and getting taught from tons of different paranormal investigators. Like, I'm going to have Madison there. She was supposed to be there last month. She's a 13-year-old paranormal investigator from Iowa, and she's amazing. She's just sucking it all in. And we rescheduled her coming up in September, and her tour is sold out. So many people want to investigate with her. The 16-year-old that pulled up to the house today was telling me stories. She's interested in coming to that. So it's cool if you're doing it the right way. It's not like when I was younger and Ghost Hunters was on and Ghost Adventures, and you wanted to go, do the cool thing and paranormal investigate and go into an old building and sneak in or something like that. It's cool that there's teenagers out that are looking at this as serious as they do, and they're coming up with some great ideas. You were talking about my children. Okay, so yes, all of my kids have been up to the house. During the day, both my boys have been there at night with me, but they all take it very seriously. My youngest one was a little spooked at first, but I assured her everything would be fine, and protected her, and went out by the pond and just checked it all out. We were just passing through. Tammy, you're gonna be coming next April. I would say book it as soon as you know the date that you want to come, because the dates book up quick. So as soon as if you want to look through the calendar, I'll book 2021 now. I mean, we're already starting to book it. Like I said, a lot of the teams that we're booking this year that were from Canada or different countries and can't get here now, the only sure thing that we can do is book them for a future date in 21. I already have St. Patrick's Day weekend booked next year, and I have a couple other dates booked for 2021. So as soon as the calendar is open, you can book them. Let's see what else we got here. My dad had to call you. Daniel, have you seen any Indian spirits near the pond or near the house? Glenn. Yes, we've caught Indian in a full headdress out on the driveway. Indian woman out by the pond. There's definitely a big Native American feel there for sure. Yes, definitely need the youth involved for sure. Brenda, I was facing the chair when I took them. I was using a Samsung camera at the time. I'll bring you them when we come back. Awesome. Yeah, I'd love to see them. That's cool. And we can put them into our archives. If you want to send them to me, we could. I could put them in my little archive folder. And then when we have the museum, my whole thing is I want to put as much evidence out there for people to see when they come to the house. And be able to utilize. We always talk about like para-unity and using each other. This is what the museum is going to be about. Being able to utilize each other, all the past investigations that we've had, and being able to have that much more information handed to us when we start an investigation. Makes us that much more powerful when we're doing the investigation, because it's going to cut out a whole bunch of questions that were probably asked 1,000 times before. You had visitors drive up last night. Yeah, I mean, that's just the thing. Like with the house, it's a spectacle. It's got a lot of folklore and the local legends, and a lot of people just want to drive up there and see it, and then they drive away. It's normally a pretty respectable thing, and I don't mind it. I've actually had people call me and say, would it be okay if I pulled in the driveway and took some pictures, or if I walked around the property? Absolutely. I have no problems with that. Like, I love when people are respectful. and aren't there to cause harm. They're there because of the history and they enjoy it, or they saw it on TV and they just want to go see it for their own eyes. And a lot of the times they'll say, take tons of pictures, and if you catch anything, send it to me. I'm your best YouTuber. Aw, thank you. I try. Last night, Rick was with us last night, my proof. Sarah McConnell, I took my son to an inactive place when he was little. We played with the cafeteria and he pretended to serve me food. That's cool. The first investigation I ever took my kids on, I thought it would be cool because we were investigating a haunted bowling alley. And it's actually Kenmore Lanes, which we did a Behind the Shadows episode on my YouTube page. And they were freaked out. They did not, they went into the bar area and hung out with the bartender because they didn't want to do the investigation because they were scared, And it's okay. But you have to build up that tolerance, like when I was a kid. If it's something that you want to do, yeah, I had that scary moment where I almost crapped my pants and ran out of the building when I saw something with my own eyes, but now I would probably run towards it. Well, Brenda, the cool thing is that we have grates. We built metal grates that go over all the windows, so you can't actually physically get in the windows anymore. On the first floor, and all the doors obviously have jail door cells, and we incorporated those right into the frame of the house, and those shut with 2 master locks that you'd need the jaws of life to break into that house. I guess if you really wanted to, you could if you wanted to, but we have it locked up pretty good, and we also have cameras. We have outdoor cameras facing the street, so anybody that pulls up into that driveway, I have their license plate. And if something happens, that's who I'm giving the license plate to, Sheriff's Department. Sheriff's Department also does a lot of rounds. They come around a lot. So a lot of times at night, when you're watching a live feed from the house, a lot of people will be like, oh, intruders. A lot of the times it's just the sheriffs coming down. They turn into the driveway and turn out and drive away. Is Dean Mooney coming up? Yeah, when they come up, make sure that you put hashtag pickle and hashtag John Wilkes Booth. No, I don't know. This was just a kind of the spur of the moment type of thing. What's up, Tim? Timothy Morse, question about the pond. Have you ever thought about building a deck on the pond? Tim, you know that we're building a deck right now. There's going to be a deck put up this weekend. What's up, Aaron? What's up, Sandy? The pond area is looking great. I appreciate that, Rick. We put a lot of work into that last year, and now fixing it up this year. So, it's going to be, I just like that we're being able to open up more of the property to investigate. So it should be able to garner a lot more results for us, having more land to actually walk on and try to connect with something. I use the word inactive as opposed to abandoned, if that makes sense. Yeah, let's stick with inactive, an inactive location. That's funny. Yeah, don't want to bring his children into a dusty asbestos disaster zone. Well, I guess now with everybody having to wear masks, I guess that's better, right? You're going into a place like that. I always would wear a mask if I knew that there was mold or something when I did an investigation. You don't want to breathe that crap in. Sandy Medeiros, I wanted to say thank you so much for putting up the live stream videos, especially at the Hinsdale house. It's amazing. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for participating and watching and helping us with the investigations there, because, even though you're not at the house investigating, but by watching the videos when nobody's there and actually getting EVPs and documenting the things that happen, that's a huge help. It's a huge help to us. And, it's cool. It's cool that their people are able to do that. Am I Christian? Yeah, I was baptized Catholic. I don't actively go to church. I don't think any of us do right now, actually, but I do believe in God. And I'm also, I also studied a lot of different religions. I feel like when I do what I do and I'm going into different situations, I have to be compassionate to other people's beliefs. I have to be able to understand what they're thinking, the thought processes, and if it's understanding the Quran or if somebody's Buddhist or a witch or whatever they practice, I need to be able to help them the way that they need to be helped. I can't bring in a priest for somebody that's Buddhist, but there are Buddhist priests that can help, and I have a few that will. We've had to call in before, so it's important to have a belief system, whether it's Christianity, Buddhism, whatever. Whatever you believe in, hold on to it tightly. Do a swimming pool someplace on the grounds. No. I got rid of the pool at my house because I don't want to take care of it, and it's a waste of money, in my opinion, especially like when my sister has a pool, my mother-in-law has a pool, there's a public pool that the kids would rather go to. So why am I putting money into a pool in my backyard? I'm not trying to turn this place into a resort, Aaron. I mean, I have a pond. If you want to go swimming, you can jump on the pond. What you find in the pond, though, that's totally up to you. I have another property that's haunted. Now, I have another property that I represent as far as bookings, getting it booked. A good friend of mine, Lori Ann Wagatha, owns a property called Wildwood Sanitarium that's about an hour down the road from Hinsdale. And basically what I've been doing is just like multi-branding. When I go to events, I got some POS material for her, and I've been promoting her location as well. And we also had that on Paranormal Lockdown and America's Most Terrifying Locations. It's an old sanitarium. It's an amazing location. You get great evidence there, and it's definitely worth going to if you're coming into the Western New York area, southern tier of Western New York. So if you're going to come to the Hinsdale house, I always tell teams that are coming in from out of town, make a weekend of it. Why don't you get 200 investigations under your belt and then take Sunday and go to Niagara Falls and go on the jet boat? There's tons of stuff to do. It doesn't have to be all paranormal, but there's tons of cool things to do in our region. Besides the paranormal investigating, you can go on the Buffalo Naval Boat, tour. It's such cool old submarines and Navy ships that you can go to on the waterfront that are haunted as well. Would you think anything is toxic about religious these days? Would I think that there's anything is toxic about religion? I don't. I mean, I think it's important for everybody to have hope, and I think religion gives people hope and not in fear of the unknown. Because you're believing in something and it gives you hope, and you want to believe that what you're doing is correct and you're leading a righteous life. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think it's, the extremists that make it bad. I think that the ones that have to shove it down your throat or tell you that, that this isn't right or blah, blah, blah. I think that that's not cool. I think everybody should be able to live the way that they want to live. And, whatever their understanding is of what religion is, let them live their own life. We can all get along. Just because somebody disagrees on something doesn't mean we can't get along, No, this is not an energy drink that I'm drinking, Michael. This is it's just an antioxidant infusion. It's a Panama peach, and it's just basically like a water, and it's got a little flavor to it. Only 10 calories. It's really good. Like I said, the coconut one is one of my favorites. The mango one's really good. There's a blueberry one, a pomegranate one. Oh my God, they're so good. I love them. And they're so refreshing, and they fill you right up. All right, let me look at other questions that are in there. Do you feel like the pond was the source of the dandy hauntings when they tore down the old barn? It disturbed something. All right, so the barn itself didn't get torn down. It was burned. It was burned down. It actually burned to the ground, fire. So you can actually find remnants of the old burned barn now. We found part of the foundation of the barn on the right side of the pond. But where the part of the barn stood is where they dug that pond. So they dug the pond and then they buried dirt over on the right side of the pond. And I actually do feel like that pond has a lot to do with the unearthing of something, or um, having the energies go run amok on the land and the property when that happened. So, and actually, they dug ponds on every property, every 10 acres. There was a pond dug because they did that to try to make the property seem more appealing to hunters and things like that. So that's when all crap hit the fan, when they built those ponds. So I definitely a focus for me, the pond and the dirt and all the stuff that was buried. So we're looking into all that right now. Wildwood does need a roof. You're right, Michelle. Definitely needs a roof. Hopefully we'll be able to get that roof put on for the Wildwood Sanitarium before the winter. You know, she's been dragging by, and she's been doing little patch jobs here and there with that sanitarium, and it comes to a point, and it's the same thing with the Hinsdale house. When I first got it, all I could do was keep taking the money and then putting patch jobs on, and then hoping that those held out so I could save a little bit more money to get it done right. And it took about 2-3 years before I was able to actually start doing things the right way that I wanted to do them, because the patch jobs were holding out. Unfortunately, the patch job that they did on the roof at the Wildwood Sanitarium is probably not going to hold out. You know, there's water damage and leaking, and we need to get that fixed. So if anybody is interested in helping out with that, with a donation or investigating the location, you know, the money will get put to a good cause. We have up on my Facebook page the GoFundMe for them, and if you want to book it and actually do an investigation there, get in contact with me and we'll get you a date, because they'd love to have you. Trust me. Brenda you went to Wildwood the night after Hinsdale. It was a great place. Yeah, it is. It's a cool old place, right? It's pretty cool. An astrology reading. Yes. When I go live with Carol Ruth, she's an amazing astrologist. And I did one live with her already at her studio, and next week, hopefully, I think that I'll talk to her. She can shoot me a message, and we can go live, and she can do readings for people. It'll be fun. See, Carol, look what I got. Everybody hear me well? Right? You hear me good? It'll be good for you. Oh, Sarah McConnell Bai is actually one of the best flavored water drinks. I agree. I love it. My daughter actually got me turned on to those, and I've been hooked on them. I like buy cases of them, you know, and just have them delivered off Amazon. They have really good prices on them, because they're like $2 something each, and you can get like a case of 12 for like $14. I'm like, okay, good deal for me. Send me the case. You couldn't picture me with long hair? I've had probably the longest I've ever had. It was probably down to like something like this. And I used to like take it, and I had that skater cut going, and I used to like put it back when I was a waiter. I used to wait tables when I was younger, and I always just combed it back like the big slick look. And then when I was done waiting tables, just and it'll all be all over my face. But no, I like the clean cut come over now, except for this is my COVID cut until I can get to the barber. What, in my opinion, is the best evidence captured at the Hinsdale house? My God, there's been so much. There's been so much good things captured there that are awesome. I like Jeff Fent's evidence that he captured there, with the picture of that creature in the woods when he was using different light spectrums. That's up on the Hinsdale Facebook page. If you look through the pictures, it's pretty awesome. I mean, so many awesome things have been captured there. If you look on my YouTube page, a lot of you are on my YouTube page right now talking to me. I actually have some videos up from a paranormal team that was there, and she was sleeping on the couch, and it looks like an arm goes underneath the blanket and then levitates up and goes down. It was funny because Bobby Ann Merritt, Warriors of the Paranormal, it's her paranormal team, and I remember her at the house with her team, and she said, "Oh, we didn't have much evidence, not much happened." And then she called me up about a week later, and she's freaking out. She's like, "Oh my God, oh my God!" And then she sent me these videos. I'm like, "Holy crap!" I go, "Not pretty busy." I go, you just caught like 3 poltergeist-like things happening on camera while you were sleeping on the couch to you. So you guys got to check those videos out if you haven't checked them out. They're pretty cool. Man bun? No, I'm not going to get it that long. I'll cut my own hair before I have a man bun. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think I was talking to Stephanie today. She's a YouTuber. And I said, at what point do sponsors actually get in contact with you to start sponsoring your YouTube feeds? And she said it was right around 65,000. And I'm only at 25. I only got 25,000 subscribers right now. So hopefully we'll get some more. When am I going to have the live stream on again? As soon as I get done with this live stream, I'm going to put a live stream on from a location. It can't be Hinsdale tonight. It can't be Greystone. Let me see. What can we do? You guys want the Old Park Hotel or the Knickerbocker Hotel or Melbourne Manor I could throw up? I got Palmyra Museum. You know, we could do... I'll throw something up. I'll throw a live stream up when I get done with this live feed. You like my hair right now? Yeah, it's not bad. I mean, it could be worse, right? It could be gray. It's not gray yet, so that's good. One of these days, I need to get down to the house. I haven't been there almost. Really? It's been that long, Jason? You got to come down and see all the progress we've made. Dave. Hey, Dan, was there poltergeist activity documented at the Hinsdale when the priest was called in for an exorcism? So it was documented with cameras from a film crew in New York City, the footage of which we can't find. We've been searching for it, and we haven't been able to find it. We've been looking through all the archives and trying to locate this film. We've gotten in contact with one of the persons that was doing the filming, and they asked how we got their number and said never call them again, and they hung up. Now we have it actually like a word by word that Clara wrote down of what happened while they were, it's kind of like, after it all happened, she was like a journalist. She would just go and write everything down. So we have her account of what happened while they were in the house, and we have Father Alphonse's account of what happened as well. I'm glad that you watch. I was just looking at my statistics and I was like, wow, it was like in the month of in the last 28 days, the amount, the viewage of the streams that I have was crazy. It's like it was like about 7 years worth of people watching it, if you count by the minute. 7 years worth. I was like, wow, that's nuts. That's crazy. What's my YouTube? It's just if you go to YouTube, just go Daniel Klaes, and then you can go on the YouTube page. Give it a like. Malvern Manor, you guys all want Malvern? I'll put on Malvern. Palmyra. Do the kids see the ghosts too? My son, my son actually has seen ghosts. He's actually very intuitive, and he's not scared. It's cool because he has he has me, and he knows what I do, and it's not scary for him. And he's actually felt things and seen things. It's pretty cool. I'm a lovely 51, Sandy. I know the video would be awesome, dude. There is one video that's at the Hinsdale Historical Museum that I have not been able to view yet, and it's a reel to reel, and they're trying to get it so we can actually view that. So I don't know. It says Hinsdale House on it, so we'll have to see if that is anything. It would be so. Wouldn't that be something after all these years if it's just been sitting at the Hinsdale House Museum, or not the Hinsdale House Museum, the Town of Hinsdale, New York Museum, History Museum, and it's just been sitting there, and my God, I would go nuts. I am not at the house tonight. There's a team from Michigan there tonight. They're actually staying until Monday. They're the ones that have volunteered to help install the pond. Anthony Ansley and his wife and their team are there, and he's an amazing woodworker. He assembled most of the pond in Michigan, or most of the deck in Michigan, and brought it with him in a U-Haul with all their equipment, and we'll be working on getting that deck up, and we'll take some cool pictures and put them up on the Patreon page for everybody to see, and just keep showing. That's what I want to do. I just want to keep showing improvements for everybody, and allow people to see that when they do donate and when they do become a patron or participate in the location, that it's not just going in my pocket and I'm going on vacation every weekend. You know, I've actually put more into that house, my God, I can't, I don't even want to think about, you know, all the projects that we've had to do and get done. And right now we're finishing up the windows. We have all the windows on the upstairs of the house installed, brand new windows. And all the downstairs windows are getting redone with new grates put on, you know, so we can open and shut the grates easily with locks. So it's cool. All right, guys, I've been on for quite a while. I'll get a live stream started on my YouTube station. It'll be on my Facebook page. It'll also be on it'll be on all my social media. So we'll put Melbourne Manor up, and I'll get that going, and I'll talk to you guys soon. You know, I'll pop on every now and then and speak with you guys, and thanks for chatting with me. And if you have any other questions or want to book the place, go to my website, danielklaes.com, and, you know, hook up with me. I'm not a hard guy to find, you know. Try to make myself pretty accessible. There you go. So if, yeah, it'll be up on Periscope. Michelle's my moderator on there, so I'll talk to you guys all soon. Stay tuned for the live feed from Melbourne Manor in Iowa. Peace.